Hello students, I am Pialina, your biology teacher, and I welcome you all to the biology e-learning classes. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, today we'll start with the topic translation. In my previous video, we have already gone through the two different processes of central dogma, that is DNA replication and various nature of DNA, that it is a semi-conservative in nature and it has 3 to 5 end, etc. We have already also gone through the transcription, where the DNA gets converted into mRNA. Okay, we have also gone through the post transcriptional modifications, that is adenylation, splicing and tailing. Okay, so these finally to form a mature RNA. Okay, now what happens to this RNA? Today we will go with this. Okay, so we'll start with the process of translation. Basically, the process of polymerization of amino acid, that means the amino acid keeps on joining one after the another. This is called polymerization of amino acid, and this polymerization of amino acid leads to the formation of polypeptide chain, and the process is called translation. Actually, the conversion of mRNA to a polypeptide chain of amino acids is called translation, and this polypeptide chain of amino acid is called forms a protein. Okay, now the sequence of the amino acid in a polypeptide is actually decided by the sequence of the bases of mRNA which it contains. Okay, what are the mRNA the different sequences in a triplet mode? We have already gone through the genetic code, where we have seen that the code is actually triplet in nature. So what is the nature of the bases in triplet in the amino acid that actually decides that what protein is going to be produced. Okay, now the amino acids are actually joined by the peptide bonds, and the formation of which requires energy. But in the first phase, the amino acids are activated in the presence of ATP and linked to their coagnate tRNA, and this process is called the charging of tRNA. If you go through the diagram, you will find that this process is actually called charging of tRNA or amino acylation of tRNA. Now, if the two such charged tRNAs are brought close, this formation of peptide bond would be favored much energetically in the presence of a catalyst. Now, the synthesis of proteins occurs on the ribosome, and which consists of the structural RNAs and about 80 different proteins. But in inactive state, a ribosome actually exists as two subunits, a large subunit and a small subunit. When the small subunit encounters the mRNA, that means mRNA enters the smaller subunit, the process of translation of the mRNA to the protein actually begins. Okay, now there are two sites which are very much close enough in the large subunit of the larger subunit of the ribosome for subsequent amino acids to form a polypeptide bond. The ribosome also acts as a catalyst as well. In case of bacteria, that is 23S rRNA is the enzyme, which is also called the ribozyme, and this actually helps in the formation of the peptide bond. A translated unit in the mRNA sequence is the sequence of RNA which is flanked by the start codon. The start codon is the AUG codon, which I have already told you that it has dual functions, that it is AUG is the start codon, and AUG also is also called the codes for the protein codes for the amino acid methionine. Okay. And it so the translated unit in the mRNA is the sequence of RNA, and which is flanked by the start codon AUG, the stop codon, and codes for a polypeptide. Okay. Now the mRNA also has some sequence at both 5' end and the 3' end. Okay. Now 5' end, which is the before the start codon, and 3' end there is the stop codon, which are actually after the stop codon actually. So these particular regions of the mRNA are not translated and are also called the untranslated region, that is UTRs. Okay, the UTRs are actually required for the efficient translation process. The ribosome to the elongation phase of the protein synthesis, and the complex is composed of an amino acid which is linked to the tRNA, actually subsequently binds to the particular codon present in the mRNA by forming complementary base pairs with the tRNA anticodon. That means the codon is present on the mRNA, and the tRNA actually has the anticodon, which actually codes for the particular amino acid. Now I have told you that there are two sites of the ribosome, which is present in the larger subunit of the ribosome. These two sites actually help in the translation process on the for the formation of protein synthesis. Now, what are actually these two sites? These two sites are these two sites are the E site and the P site. Okay, so the process of translation starts with the P site and ends in the E site, right? Now, coming to sorry, not the E site, the A site. The smaller subunit first binds to the initiator tRNA and then binds to the larger subunit. So the initiation codon actually lies on the P side. The initiation tRNA, which is the methionine tRNA, then binds to the P side. There are three steps of translation actually. The first one is the initiation, the activation, the elongation of the polypeptide chain, and the termination of polypeptide. So we'll start with the initiation part, where in prokaryotes the initiation requires the large and small ribosome subunits, where the mRNA initiation tRNA and the three initiation factors. Now there are various sub processes takes place under the process of initiation. That is, the first one is the activation of amino acid, where amino acid becomes activated by the binding with amino acyl tRNA synthetase enzyme in the presence of ATP, which I have already told you that activation of amino acid is a energy consuming process. So ATP is required and the enzyme is amino acyl tRNA, and which forms the amino acid AMP enzyme complex. Okay, now this activated amino acid is being transferred. How? And this complex reacts with the specific tRNA to form amino acyl tRNA complex, and the enzyme is finally released and to activate the next set of amino acid. The cap region of the mRNA binds to the smaller subunit of the ribosome, and this ribosome actually has two sites, that is the A site and the P site. the smaller subunit first binds to the initiated tRNA and then bind to the larger subunit, so that the initiation codon, that is the AUG codon, actually lies on the P site, right? So the initiation of the tRNA, that is the methionine tRNA, then binds to the P site. Second step is the elongation of the polypeptide chain, where another charged amino acyl tRNA complex binds to the A site of the ribosome, and a peptide bond is formed between the carboxyl group of the amino acid at P site and amino group of amino acid at the A site by the enzyme peptidyl transferase. The ribosome slides over the mRNA from codon to codon in the direction always 5' to 3'. Now, according to the sequence of codon, the amino acids will be attached to one another by the peptide bonds and a polypeptide chain is finally formed. Now, and lastly, the termination of the polypeptide, where a site of ribosome reaches the termination codon. There are 3 termination codons, I have already told you, which actually do not code for any kind of amino acid. So, no charged tRNA bind to the A site. This dissociation of the polypeptide from the ribosome takes place and is catalyzed by few release factors. Okay. Now, there are 3 termination codons which were UGA, UAG and UAA. Today, up to this, we will continue with the chapter in my next videos. Thank you.